Hey, welcome to the GoToPhysio podcast. We are on episode 70 or season 4, episode 20 of building a go-to clinic. And in today's episode, I want to share with you how we use the Net Promoter Score to not only improve our therapist performance, but also our clinical standards. Now, this is incredibly powerful. And if you're watching on YouTube, I'm sharing a screen shot essentially of our clinic dashboard. So as part of the mastermind, we've got the go-to clinic marketing and operational software, and our dashboard, as you log in, the first thing you see essentially, and the admin will see and the therapist will see, is our Net Promoter Score. Okay, so at the time of this screenshot that I just took before this episode, our 3-month NPS is 91 and our 12-month NPS is 91. And I'm going to share why I like to track 3-month and 12-month as well. You've also some other little metrics there that you can see on the right hand side if you're wondering. So we've got one unread message, so that's come from one of our social media that our admin need to reply to. We've got 9 cancelled that haven't rebooked yet to ring back. So again, our admin literally need to click that number 9 there, and the list of people that they need to call will come up. So again, you don't even have to think about it. You just click on that and you ring the people. And then we've got 5 head physio reviews. So that's where now our head physio is going to go in and have a look at the patients that our therapists have identified as potentially not on track. So these are 5 patients at risk of potentially dropping off. So this is where we would use our in-service trainings to make sure that we get those patients back on track and aligned with the patient-defined value outcomes. So Net Promoter Score, what is that? So Net Promoter Score is essentially the question on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely are you likely to recommend us to your family or friends? Now, the way that the Net Promoter Score works, it's widely used in businesses all over the world. And it's a scale of 1 to 10 essentially, but what it has is it's got promoters, what's called pacifiers, and detractors. So if someone scores a 9 or a 10 for you, then they're going to be promoters. They're going to be much more likely to promote your business. And again, a service-based business such as physio clinics, it starts and it ends in fulfillment. Okay, we already talked about that last week of understanding how to maximize your patient lifetime value. For 100 patients to hit head physio standards, you've got another 24 patients that essentially is going to potentially give you word of mouth referrals. So those patients that are much more likely to refer, they're going to be scoring you 9 or a 10. They're going to be essentially the ones that have the best chance of becoming raving fans. They're not going to go anywhere else. They're not going to shop around on price. They're loyal to your business. And obviously, the more 9 and 10s you have, essentially the better business you're going to have in the future as well, in return business of these people. Then you've got what's called pacifiers. So these are your 7 or 8s usually. And these are the people that, they were satisfied with the service. Probably, again, if you've listened back to all the other episodes in the season, these people, we've met their expectations, but we probably haven't exceeded their expectations. And that's quite useful to understand as well. So if we're getting 7 and 8s, for a clinician is getting a lot of 7 and 8s, and then looking at their treatment notes, we can start to see opportunities, which I'll talk about in a second. And then we also have our detractors. So our detractors are people that score us 1 to 6 essentially. So they're the people that are probably going to badmouth the clinic and are bad for business. Okay? So understanding that, and I'll be honest, when I put the Net Promoter Score in to my business, it's scary. Okay, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and go, it's great. Sometimes when you log into this thing, you're like, oh my God, what's it going to be today? Okay, now the good thing for us is our 3-month NPS. The last time I logged in last week, it was sitting at around 89, I think it was. So it's actually gone up to 91 now again, and it's in line with the 12-month, which I'm really happy about. Okay, but even having an understanding of that, when I'm away in Australia or whatever, working with teams, looking at my NPS score, the business, I can see that there's more and more people happy with the services. So it gives me personally a lot of confidence and a lot of reassurance that we're on the right track. So it's something that's really worthwhile. Personally, what we do, and this is why now we track 3-month and 12-month, is we NPS people after the first session. So after your first session, you'll get the survey with the question. And why we do it at 3-month and 12-month, and we have it here even with this, is you will get some 8s usually in the first session. And what they'll usually say is it's too early to tell. And that's absolutely fair enough, which is why we look at both 3-month and 12-month now. Okay, so After the first session, you want to see if we've exceeded our expectations. If it's a 7 or an 8, okay, then we've probably matched their satisfaction, they're satisfied. If they're less than that, then we know that we didn't match their expectations in the first session, and there's something that we can do about this to make it right now. And again, that goes back into your core values. And look, I'm not going to sit here today and say to you that we've never had a 6 or we've never had a 2, okay? But what I will tell you is I remember the 6s and 2s, okay? Because again, I could probably count them on 2 hands over the course of the last 5 years. Okay, we don't get that many of them, but when we do, I look at that and it's hard and it pisses me off and it stresses me a little bit in the moment. But then I go into my growth mindset and I go, okay, where's the opportunities to learn here? And I don't mind getting the 6s and the 2s if we learn from that mistake. Okay, if we do something and we use it as an opportunity to make ourselves even better, which is why then the rest of our patients are 91s. And I think it's very easy to focus on the one patient, but what is really powerful about the NPS score is it quickly then goes, actually, there's 150 patients going through the clinic. One patient scored us a 6 or a 2, but actually there was 149 that are actually very happy with the business, okay? So it allows you to put things into perspective rather than just panicking and focusing on the 1. Now, we're not saying we dismiss the 6 or the 2 or whatever they scored us, but it's a great opportunity. And it's like a lot of our reviews, okay? We do sometimes get, we don't get 5-star reviews, but consistently, the team of about people that aren't happy, it usually comes back to price. And if there has been 1 or 2 where they weren't happy, then we've learned so much from those negative reviews. So sometimes you're better off getting the 1-star review, or you're better off getting a 6 in your NPS or a 2 in your NPS, because it allows you to actually see the problems and solve the problems in the business. And that's really the power of the Net Promoter Score. Is it's all well and good for the ego to see 91, 91, 91. But it's when the 6 comes in, that's where the real opportunity is then to make the customer experience even better, okay? So again, the Net Promoter Score, we track it personally at at session 2, and then we also track it when the patient's discharged, or if they've cancelled, they haven't rebooked again, and they've stopped treatment. So we want to do it when we finish, and there's no point just putting an NPS score out there to everyone who's been discharged. You want to put it out there, especially as well to the patients that haven't rebooked. Okay, because you'll get the truth then. Okay, and as I said, the truth hurts at times, and for a clinic owner, it pisses me off and it stresses me at times. But then I have to go, okay, I'll deal with that emotional response, and now let's get into problem solving mode. Let's get from back of brain to front of brain, and actually let's solve this problem. What was the root cause of the problem? And consistently by tracking the Net Promoter Score, we've been able to improve the customer experience tenfold. But it's also useful as well then when you see your individual therapist Net Promoter Scores, because you could look at that as well then, okay? And again, the opportunities to grow and what you learn from the scores that aren't 9 and 10s usually will be absolutely massive. But it also then can be used positively to reinforce and celebrate the 9s and 10s. So there's 2 ways to look at the Net Promoter Score. But as I said, it's something that it can be scary implementing, but it can be very, very useful. So we look at the 6s or belows and we go, okay, where could we have improved here? We look at the 7 and the 8s and go, where's the opportunity to get these to 9 and 10s? And then, of course, also then, if they're given 9s and 10s, then these are the patients that, they're much more likely to give reviews as well, okay? So as I said, we've got the automation set up in the GoToClinic Mastermind with our GoToClinic marketing and operational software to capture all of these at certain points of the customer journey. Very, very useful. And as I said, if you haven't done it yet, it can be stressful when you first do it, and there can be that little bit of fear. Do I want to know? But I promise you, you're always better off knowing than not knowing. And if you have a hunch that something isn't quite right, then there's probably things that you need to fix there. So as I said, Net Promoter Score on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely are you to recommend your friends or family to us? It's very, very useful. We personally track it after the first session, and then also when the patient is no longer coming for treatment, okay? And again, that includes the patients that have cancelled and did not rebook, and the patients that did not attend. You have to be sending it to everybody. If you just cherry pick the numbers, then you're not going to get to the root causes of the business. And again, being a clinic owner, it's your ability to tolerate problems, desensitize to problems, and being able to solve problems. That's the skill that you need as a clinic owner, okay? And again, the strategic thinking and all the support tools that we have in the Go-To Clinic Mastermind is designed to help you solve problems, use your numbers, and actually logically think through the problems rather than just dealing with them emotionally. Okay, so it's a very useful number. If you want some support with this, if you want the Go-To Clinic marketing and operational software, that's all part of the Go-To Clinic Mastermind. Happy, fill in an application, tell me where you want to get to, what you're looking to achieve, and if we feel like the program is for you, then I'm more than happy to give you all of the information about that as well and how it can help you. Okay, so that's it for this week. Nice short episode. Action item for this week is obviously go research the Net Promoter Score. Have you got the ability to implement it at the moment? What system structures do you need to be able to implement it with your staff, your SOPs, all of those things? Or if you just want it all done for you, then obviously the Go-To Clinic Mastermind will do it for you as well. Feel free to reach out, and more than happy to have a chat with you about that as well. Okay, that's it for this week. Thank you as always for tuning in. I'll see you next week. Thanks for tuning in to this week's show. I hope you enjoyed it. Now, if you'd like a free copy of my Head Physio Systems 6-step checklist that I use to personally audit my own therapists to make sure that they can keep patients progressing even when the pain is eased, so that we can ethically increase our patient numbers, our revenues and referrals, head over to www.thegotophysio.com/checklist and I'll get that sent straight over to you. That's it for this week. I'll see you in next week's show.